Hi, I'm Courtney from Eating Disorder Hope, and today I want to talk a little bit about how you really can't tell whether someone has an eating disorder just by looking at them. I think it's very common to have this picture in your head of what someone with an eating disorder looks like, and for most people that image is very thin, someone who's very emaciated, very clearly unwell. And it can actually be harmful to have this image of or a stereotype because it keeps people who are struggling but don't fit that image from getting help. And this is the reality for many reasons. First of all, it can prevent people from even recognizing that they themselves are struggling with an eating disorder, because if they engage in disordered behaviors but it doesn't have that reaction in their body, they don't have that dramatic weight loss or the other physical effects, then they might not even recognize that there's a problem or think that their behaviors aren't that harmful, which is just not true. It can also prevent medical professionals from screening eating disorders in these individuals. Someone who comes in and presents with electrolyte imbalance or low bone density, other red flags normally for eating disorders. If the person doesn't fit the general profile, then the doctor in general is less likely to screen for an eating disorder and diagnose for an eating disorder. And of course, early intervention is very important for eating disorders, so this can be harmful. Also, insurance companies often determine whether they're going to provide coverage or continue coverage based on body mass index. So for someone who doesn't have that extreme weight loss, they're a lot more likely to be denied coverage, even though they're struggling just as much as someone who might fit, someone's image of what someone should look like when they have an eating disorder. It should also be noted that you can't tell whether someone does have an eating disorder by looking at them as well. So if someone is, extremely thin, you can't assume that they have an eating disorder. They might just be naturally thin or have another health problem that prevents them from gaining weight. Also, someone who struggles with obesity doesn't necessarily have an eating disorder. Same thing. There are lots of reasons to struggle with being overweight, health reasons. It doesn't necessarily mean that that individual is struggling with disordered food behaviors. So you never really want to assume either way that someone has an eating disorder or that they don't, because that can be harmful and just kind of perpetuate that myth that then prevents people from getting the help that they need. Also, one of the worst things that you can say to someone who has an eating disorder is that they don't look like someone who has an eating disorder, because this just kind of, this is just very triggering for many reasons, because it just because they don't fit your idea of what someone with an eating disorder looks like, and they might not be extremely thin, that just makes them, it can kind of be motivating almost for them in their disorder, and make them feel like they need to work even harder in their disorder to fit society's standard of how they should look when they're sick. And that probably sounds very disordered, and it's because it is very disordered, but that's typically how someone's mind works when they're sick in their disorder. So basically, don't judge a book by its cover one way or the other. And there's this one great quote that I love that says, "Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about." And so that's just what I want to leave you with today. And just keep that in mind next time you see someone who you want to make a judgment about, and just kind of think twice about it. So I hope this is helpful, and let me know how you feel about it. I can't wait to hear from you. Thanks so much.